Yo, what's up guys? HeartPirates CCG here, bringing you a video telling you that I was wrong. Now, I am completely okay with being wrong. In fact, I've been wrong plenty of times in the past. And the the topic that I'm wrong about this time is I said Gecko Moria was going to be at the top of A tier, but not S tier, and I have stand corrected. I think that this deck is actually a lot better than I thought it was going to be, and also Perona is worse than I thought it was going to be because one, Katakuri just is very good into Perona, and there's a lot of Katakuris running around, so it's just a hard matchup to win. And then Sakazuki, especially with the new stage version, can just crush Perona, unfortunately. So Perona definitely moves down in the tier list, and then Gecko moves up. And the reason being, too, guys, is like look how much representation that Gecko's really seen. It's only won 2 tournaments right now that in or that I can see, obviously on my website, which is moonlighttcg.com. Real quick, guys, though, we are doing a giveaway for a starter deck for the super pre-release Animal Kingdom Pirates. I'm giving away my Treasure Cup Kobe, also giving away a box of OPO6. How you sign up for that giveaway is to follow us on Instagram, which is going to be on the, what is it called? Homepage right here, obviously, moonlighttcg.com. And then also enter in one of our weekly tournaments. So we have a webcam cash prize tournament, as well as also has some very cool custom cards that you can obviously get, and custom winner Dawn from Kaizoku Cards. We also have a weekly simulator tournament as well. So be sure to check that out. And then obviously I'm going to link down the video below to talk more about the website if you guys want to see it. But basically, tournament results, right? It is pretty apparent that Gecko Moria is just seeing so much representation. Now there's like a little bug right here we have to fix where it says 15, no leaders. But so look, we have Gecko Moria winning this one. We have a bunch of geckos in the top cut. I think it's like 5 out of like the top 16, which is pretty big. And then in the Wolverhampton regional, we have, first place went to Sakazuki, but we have Gecko. I mean, dude, I'm telling you, like, there's so much representation for Gecko. It's actually crazy. And also the reason I was wrong too, guys, is like I thought that Gecko Moria was gonna have a really awful matchup, similar to like what Purple Luffy had into Sakazuki in set 5, but now with Gecko Moria in set 6. But at the highest levels, it's actually, I still think Sokka's favored, right? I think it's probably 55-45 in Sokka's favor. Um, but Gecko can get to a really hot start where like if you can't deal with like what they have, then they're just gonna basically steamroll you. I mean, look at this one right here. It's the top, what is it, 5 people are 5 Gecko Morias. Then you have a Reiju in there, and then you have the 7th is Gecko Moria. Like 7 out of the top or 6 out of the top 8 are Gecko Morias in a lot of these regionals right here. It's pretty crazy. Yeah, so I think another reason too is like Gecko, unless you're playing against a deck that has bottom deck mechanic, which is literally just Sakazuki right now, Gecko Moria is just it has a lot of utility, right? Like it has a lot of KO stuff, but a lot of times like starving you out of cards with Perona, and then like being able to just keep bringing back cards that get you value, like Hogback or Absalom or something like that. Like that's actually really good. And it's actually it's a lot better than I thought it was. Like I said, like when I first looked at the deck, I was like, yeah, Gecko's really good, but like, what exactly are you getting back? Like Kuzan, like you're gonna get back like Lucci and like a Helmeppo. Like that doesn't really do a whole lot. But in addition, with Ice Age, if you see it on top of like you like starving your opponent through like 6K attacks, and then obviously ripping cards from their hand with Perona, and being able to like have a pretty consistent deck by like having like basically using your trash as a resource. Um, it's a lot better than I thought. Um, Going forward into this meta though, I could see that Gecko Moria is really good into something like obviously Katakuri, but it's not auto win into Katakuri, right? So like a lot of people think that like Gecko is like the answer to Katakuri. If we're being real, the answer to Katakuri is probably like Red Purple Law. Like that's probably like the best deck into Katakuri. Or like obviously like if you high roll with Sakazuki, that can be really good into Katakuri too. But or like maybe like Whitebeard or something like that. But Yeah, I'm pretty surprised by not only am I surprised by the turnouts for these tournaments, but I also like I don't even know how to explain it. Like I'm surprised and I'm also like not surprised because like Gecko is a really cool leader and it's like a unique leader and a lot of people that like black leaders are gonna play Gecko. Like I'm just surprised at like how well it's doing into the matchup spread because like on paper, Gecko doesn't really have a win condition. Like even dropping Gecko doesn't really get you to where you need to be. Like you have to be really good with Gecko Moria. Not even just Gecko Moria. You have to be really good at like resource management and like all of the like understanding like when to put pressure on your opponent, when to clear board, when to like what characters to play at what turn sequence, when to use your Sabo. And a lot of players, it seems, are able to actually figure that out in abundance, right? Because decks that are normally like pretty high skill cap, like I think the deck that would be most similar to this deck would be, in my opinion, like something like Doflamingo, either Grape Dofi or even Blue Dofi, like being able to like basically like get the most out of your cards, whether it be like by blocking and then Spiderweb, and then like obviously like drawing two off of like what is it called, off of Guild Tesuru or Tesoro, or like with Dofi, it's like okay, I have to manage my cards correctly because even though I have the Dawn to play this, I might actually want a 3,000 worlds, and then that'll mess up my stack. Like like, and then obviously like knowing when to pressure, when not to pressure. Like not a lot of people played those decks back in the day, Grape Dofi and Blue Dofi. So like I'm surprised that like with this playstyle, Gecko is seeing the amount of representation that it's seeing, and I'm even more surprised that it's doing so well into Sakazuki, into Katakuri, into like all of these other probably Perona. So yeah, guys, everyone that said I was wrong and they were right, you're right. Good job. And yeah, I look forward to being wrong in the future. Although I will say my tier lists are mostly pretty accurate. This is like one of the first ones I've done in a while that is like starting to look kind of shaky with some of with some of the positions, but for the most part, I think it's still pretty accurate. But I was definitely wrong on Gecko Moria. So yeah, guys, see you later. Peace.